unpacking the myths of modern dating in this segment of It's Scary to Remarry. Today's guest is called to demonstrate kingdom principles in the marketplace while serving as a prophetic voice for his generation. His purpose centers on spreading God's love through authentic business leadership, delivering divine messages with clarity and boldness, and leading others to Christ through the powerful witness of daily obedience to God's will. Bravehearts community, let's show some love to Sammie Lee Rogers Jr. What's up? How you doing, sir?
Yeah, what's going on, Sean? Good evening, everybody.
Yes, man. Thanks again. First time guest on the episode. And this topic of unpacking myths of modern dating, I think is definitely relevant for today's culture. And got a chance to connect with you on Threads. And I was like, oh, he's down. Like he want to record. Let's
Yeah,
do
yeah,
this.
yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So let's jump into this. I want to ask you, give me 3 myths.
Well, Sean, I can tell you right now, man, the first three that always stood out to me so far when you watch what's going on in the dating world right now. Number one is the soulmate myth. And number two would be the try before you buy myth. And number three is the I need to be perfect first myth. So these are the three most loud myths that I hear in the dating world right now.
Yeah, because sometimes I think we hear things so much that people really don't take time to think. They just run with it.
I think that's the biggest problem. So, I mean, when we talk about, like, let's take the first one, right? The soulmate myth. There's this idea that people believe, like, oh, is this going to be this person is going to be rainbows and glitter and everything's going to be easy and it's going to be this perfect person. But when we go into the Bible, we don't see soulmate in the Bible. We see helpmate
Mhm,
in the Bible.
mhm.
And so when we understand that, you know what I'm saying, this is just God's word and what he wants for us, right? So it's not about finding that perfect person, but it's just that person that is, fit for the purpose and that aligns with your vision for your life. And I think that's the main part that we, misunderstand. And I'm guilty of it myself. You
Yeah,
get what I'm saying? Like
same.
I myself wanted to, take any woman who's like, oh, she's good enough and try to make her into, this thing because she has this and she has this, and like, oh, I can work with that. That's good enough. And I try to make them fit into something that literally is just we weren't in alignment. Just it was not purpose driven. There was nothing there, but we try to make that a thing, and that's wrong, right?
Mhm.
And so, and then you take the try before you buy. I'm pretty sure we all have heard this one before. I know everybody out here have heard this
Yeah,
one.
of course.
That whole try before you buy. I used to say, you don't buy a car before you test drive it.
Mhm.
I used to say that myself,
Yeah.
and that is completely out of alignment with way God wanted us to experience intimacy with our significant others. It was never supposed to be outside of covenant. You feel me? So we went straight to consummate and skipped over the whole covenant part.
Mhm.
Like covenant was never a part of the thing. And I say this, and I'm speaking from a place of I have no problem being transparent. Yes, I too was at. I mean, heck, I was married twice. You get what I'm saying? So there's that. Three was the whole, needing to be perfect. And just recently when I came out of my divorce, I wrote down. I put myself into an agreement where I said, my next time I go into a marriage, I want to make sure I got this much saved. I want to make sure I have this house. I
Mhm.
want to make sure I have new cars because in my divorce I lost everything. So I just felt like, I want to make sure I have everything in line before I even do it again. And then I ended up meeting someone who's literally like everything to me right now.
Yeah.
But the problem with that was I went before God, right?
Mhm.
And so we had to be separated in that sense. But I said it to say I went to a season where it was like, you know what? Next time I get into a relationship, I want to make sure I got this, got that, I have this, I have that. And it's like, bro, no, that's not a thing. You may not always have it all right. And sometimes us as men, sometimes the best fruits that we may some of our best fruit may not even sprout until we enter into marriage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's a thing. And so, I mean, it's just, not putting so much pressure on ourselves, you know what I'm saying, the dating market and, embrace your singleness. So
Mhm.
that's just how I feel about those three myths right there.
Yeah. No, I love it, man. There's so much stuff I want to unpack as I hear you talk. I guess I'm kind of going to rabbit trails now because I'm just like, okay, this is a question I wanted to ask. So, do you feel, because there's 2 schools of thought, real quick. You have guys that say want to have it all together first, right?
Mhm.
But then there's a school of thought too that there's something that this woman have that can help take you to another level, that can help you grow. Which side do you lean on?
Well, the thing is, when most men, when they talk about getting the things in a row, they're mainly referencing tangible items.
Mhm.
It's not character building things. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So most of the time when men we're talking about getting ourselves together, we're not talking about like, oh, how do I, God, work on my patience?
Work on my
Hey,
flesh.
God, work on like, let me kill my flesh and not be so lustful in my pursuit of this woman. Or God, help me, diminish my pride, less of me, more of you when I interact with this. Or how many men actually ask, hey, God, show me how to tend to your daughter. How do I take care of your daughter? So when men talk about getting themselves together, you rarely ever hear about the character side of, getting things together. It's always these tangible things. I gotta have this much money. I gotta have this car, have this house, I have to have this job or this career, so on and so forth. These are all things that are really, in the eyes of God, worthless, honestly.
Yeah.
And so, we never talk about the things that we have to get together for that, right?
Mm.
So for me, I lean towards more of getting myself together, but it's not in a way of which I used to. Cause again, I was this person. Not going through that, you realize like, when have I ever sat down and I asked God, hey, I have this, porn addiction, right?
Mhm.
Like, I have this addiction. Deal with that with me before I enter into a covenant with this woman. You know what I'm saying? I have this wandering eye. Like, help me with this before I enter into this covenant with this woman. I have this anxiety attachment. Help me with this before I enter into this covenant with this woman. So, like, these are the things that we should be getting in order before we, get into covenant or look into date or look into court a woman. These are things we should be getting together as a man. And this goes for women too, whatever, but I'm
Yeah.
talking to men right now.
Yeah, for sure.
These are things that we should be getting, as the pursuers.
Yes.
These are the things that we should be, correcting within ourselves before we step out into the market. So
Yes, for sure. No, I love it, man. Great. Yeah, great answer. Knocked it out the park because a lot of times, like you say, we don't think about those things. A lot of times we think about just the tangible things, because you can have a lot of money and your character jacked up. And what good is that going to do? Or you lack discipline. You can, because, I know a bunch of broke 6-figure income earners. It's like, you can marry somebody that got money. I want somebody with money and stuff. I get it. That's cool. Security, boom, 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 I get it. If they are bad stewards of what they've been entrusted with, what good is making $175,000 a year when your lifestyle was 200,000?
there it is right there. Good stewardship. So that's another, we don't ask to get that in a row when we look at our look. We just want the shiny things, and it sucks.
That's good, man. That's good.
That could be a topic in itself for a whole night right there.
I know, right? For sure. Of the 3 myths about modern dating, so which one you believe is keeping people from experience God's design for relationships?
For me, I think it's a try before you buy.
Mhm.
I think that is the biggest one. I mean, we're talking about a myth that directly attacks the sanctity of marriage. You know what I'm saying? And sexual purity. So this creates the cycles of heartbreak, emotional baggage, and it's preventing people from experiencing the, again, like I said, that deep spiritual intimacy that God desired for us, right? And not just that. I mean, we spend all this time and focus like, I hear people saying, "Oh, just share your my chart with this person and this and that, so you can know they're this and that." Like we're worried about STDs as far as sexual transmitted diseases, but not the sexual transmitted demons. So these women are letting these men, drop off in them, and that DNA gets off into them, and now you're talking about DNA carries codes, man. We're talking about generational traumas, right? And so now you're attacking on someone else's history, but before you even know it, and you don't even understand spiritual warfare, and you're attacking on these demons and you're collecting these bodies and you making these unnecessary soul ties and sometimes these spiritual covenants with people who you're not supposed to be in covenant with,
Mhm.
and so I think that's the one that has people in a headlock. Again, I mean, again, I'm guilty of it, man. I
Yeah,
play football.
yeah, yeah.
Feel me? Like, it's one of the things, and so, man, we just had these. I think that's the worst one. Imma just stick there. That's the worst one, man, and, like, again, it brings you back to Hebrews 13 and 4, man, where we're told to let marriage be held in honor among all,
Yep.
and let the marriage bed be undefiled, and I believe that, if we start acting accordingly to Scripture, I believe that, a lot of this can be rectified. It can be set straight. If we start living according to what God designed, we start operating in His manual and not, in the patterns of this world. So I think that's the one.
Yeah.
That try before you buy.
Yeah, for sure. Because people, like I said earlier, people don't even think. They just like, I just need to, I need to connect with her. I need to hook up with her, or vice versa. The ladies be doing their thing too. And like you said, don't get pregnant. And I heard a pastor say one time, and I never thought about this. He says sometimes you'll sleep with people who have a spirit of poverty on them. And you ain't no broke sharing those spirits. And I was just like, man, that's so heavy, because we talk about the soul ties and stuff. We talk about those different things. But when he said the spirit of poverty, I said, man, that'll preach.
Man, the spirit of poverty, you have people that have just this natural pessimistic outlook on life, and all of a sudden you sleep with them and now you start to doubt your capabilities and abilities and things like that. So I mean, like, I've been there, you know what I'm saying, to where I've been with a woman that didn't understand me being an entrepreneur.
Mm.
She wanted me to keep a job. Like, I'm like, that's not who I am. Like, I didn't mind working, but that just wasn't who I am, and it wasn't for me. And I've been in situations where, sometimes I can say it in a way that may sound offensive. It's like, but I always say I'm speaking for me. But people would take it, what I'm saying, offensive. But it's like, bro, it just wasn't for me. And that attitude had me down like, dang, am I cut out for this?
Mm,
Could I really do this?
mm.
Maybe I should just get a job and just, and there's nothing wrong with a job. Let me
Of
just
course.
say that
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
right now. Because there's people that may take offense. There's nothing wrong with it. I have to hire people to work for me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I know what I was called to do. You get what I'm saying? It's like when you be with people who don't understand your path, because again, that's why I said in the beginning, when you try to like fit people into your purpose and your vision on your life, and they're not meant to be, because that's not what they don't understand it.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to put circles in I'm trying to put squares in your circle, and
Yeah, man.
there you have it.
Yeah, because a lot of times people think they're the exception opposed to the rule. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I know we're fearfully and wonderfully made. I know we are chosen with a head, not a tail. I get it. But a lot of times we like to think we can defy the laws of gravity, or, you're like, this includes
I
me
tried to
too.
work like God. I tried to work like God. God shows us the beginning from the end, right? And so, I
Man.
mean, the end from the beginning. And so I try to my ideology was like, "Oh, let me build my family first, and then I'll get to my purpose."
Eh.
God said, "Boy, Imma show you something. Imma show you something." And he showed me something. You feel me? Like, I came here I am today, and
Yeah.
there's that.
No, I hear you, man. I hear you for sure. Yeah, we have some of our threads, folks
Yeah,
showing up.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Thanks for the love. Appreciate that. A common myth is that if you're single, something must be wrong with you. How do you encourage people to trust God's timing in their love?
Embrace your single season. Like, it's not a waiting room, it's a training ground,
Mm.
right? And so if we approach it that way, we use this time to get deeper with God, we discover our purpose, we become the person that we're called to be. And I think that that's most important. And, you step into what's that? First Corinthians 7, 35, somewhere in there. But I just believe that this is a time to where you can also focus, on your own alignment. Instead of looking for the one, focus on being the one.
Mm.
As you align with God's will for your life, you will naturally attract the right person. And this kind of goes, I had made a post on Threads one time and I made a video about it where I said, people are complaining about the dating pool, saying, the dating pool has piss in it or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would say, have y'all once thought that you are a part of that pool? Get out of that pool. Like,
Mhm.
you're not even supposed to be there.
Yeah. Are you peeing in it?
You get what I'm saying? Like, have you addressed your traumas, your wounds, you over there, you in the pool and you spilling blood in there. So I mean, everybody want to point the finger, but they're not addressing their own, themselves.
Yeah.
And so, I believe that in this time in your singleness, like, really focus on your own alignment. Again, stop trying to focus on finding the one and become the one. Like, the love that you're looking for, become it and you attract it. We all heard the saying, you attract more with honey than you do with,
Yep.
we know the saying.
Yep.
And so be that. Become who you are. Like, and understand who God made you to be, and like step into your essence. And I tell people all the time, and your essence is in God's presence. And so when you step there, you become better. And the last thing that I will say is just trusting God's sovereignty. Man, God's timing is perfect, and He knows the desires of our hearts. He knows it. And so we just have to trust it, you know. My saying right now in my single season, man, is Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am the Lord. Like, quit trying to force your hand, quit trying to go ahead. Just do what you're assigned to do and be still and peaceful in that, and let God, and trust that God is aligning you with everything that He knows the desires of your heart.
Yes.
And He's not gonna, His word does not return to Him void. And
Mhm,
so we have to trust and believe in that, you know what
mhm.
I'm saying, as believers. So
Amen. Yeah, no,
that's my advice to the single people out there, man. Don't beat yourselves up, man. Just trust God, focus on yourselves, and just really grow and develop as individuals.
yeah. Yeah. If y'all have any questions for today's guest, make sure you drop them below because Sammie is dropping bars as I expected. But this is good. And I want to say too that with in the single season, because I remember when I was single, I know it was a long time ago, but once upon a time I was single. And one thing that kept me out of sin was always being in church. Like I was, with my pastors, travel, we were always on the move. I was working two jobs. I didn't have time, and time flew by, and it kept me out of a lot of trouble. And so I'm grateful for that. So I will say, be busy, be, good busy, work on yourself, do what necessary things you need. If that's therapy, if need some counseling and all that's good stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, keep yourself busy, man, because I don't mind.
Man, and listen, like you mentioned something that's very important, man. That community. Community is very important. You know what I'm saying? Find yourself a small group, attach yourself to some communities. One of the most important things that I've been doing in this time is surrounding myself with, solid men. You know what I'm saying? I've been surrounding myself with a lot of married men that are actually, and not just any married man. I'm surrounding myself with happily married men who actually honor marriage, and their respect their wives, and believe and truly believe in covenant. And then I'm also surrounding myself with believers who are entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying? It's where we understand, and we push each other, and we support one another. And then I also still have my single man, my single friends. Of course, I'm single, so it's like I still have my single guys. You know what I'm saying? And we push each other. I got people that I mentor,
Mhm.
and so there's that. I mean, just surround yourself with a good community, man, and also not just surround yourself with a good community, but be a good community for someone. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And there's that.
Yeah. Cause my mentor, he was telling me one time, he said, Sean, you should always be living like a chain connected, like somebody that, you have your mentor, someone that you're like kind of grabbing up towards, not that they're better than you, but, mentor, and then you're pulling someone with you. And so you
Mhm.
have this chain effect that keeps going, and it keeps you in purpose, and it keeps you accountable and stuff like that. And so when you have that kind of effect going on, you're able to impact people, and you just never know who God puts in your life. I mean, we used to go to Starbucks and sit there for a couple hours, and people come up and start asking us questions, and have whole church in Starbucks. But those were good times, man. Good times.
Big time.
Good times. How can singles shift from a culture driven view of dating to a kingdom centered one?
I mean, kind of what I said before. It's really about renewing our mind, and being intentional about rejecting the world's messages on about dating, and immersing ourselves with the Word of God and His truth, right?
Mhm.
And so that's one of the biggest things, is really comes down to reprogramming
Yeah.
and being intentional about it, being sincere about it, confessing our sins, knowing where we fall short, and not trying to like just hold it and withhold it,
Yeah.
um, but just letting it out, and going to God like, "Hey, man, look, I'm struggling here. Help me." Like and I'm speaking from, that was hard for me.
Yeah.
Coming and say, "I need help," like, "Help me?" Oh, what? You talking about somebody who suffered from rejection?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Uh, that was hard for me to really come to God and be like, "Hey, man, help me." Like, and how I'm saying it to you is how I said it to God, man. I just showed up before Him authentic, and it was like, "Hey, look, I don't know why you got me here, but I'm here and I need your help. And I'm not moving until you help me."
Mhm.
Like, that was literally my attitude when I was locked in that apartment for 3 days, bro, with no electricity. But, that's one.
Yeah.
So renewing our mind, and then the main one I think is the most important one, which is really should be the first one is, Matthew 6:33, man. Seek first the kingdom, you know? So when you make God's kingdom your number one priority, everything else falls into place, and this includes love.
Mm,
I mean, I'm talking about when I came to, what I'm saying, and really surrendered, one of the first things I did, and it was hard for me to do this because I didn't believe in that. I believe that we're supposed to pick our mates and so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. But man, I surrendered my love life to God. I was
mm,
like, here you go. I'm surrendering this. My love life, and this includes sex, this includes everything that I struggle with. I gave it all. Like, here you go. All in your hand. And that took so much off my mental to where I'm not even thinking about the outcome of marriage again and so on and so forth. You already showed me the end. I already know I'm gonna get it. Now I don't have to think about it.
mm,
Now I just focus on my character building, you know what I'm saying,
yeah.
and healing and breaking down and make, the generational things that I know that I suffered from and so on and so forth, make sure that these things don't touch my children.
Mhm, mhm.
That's where now my focus is. And so everything else just gonna fall in place. So that's one, that's two. And then when you get back out there and you're ready to get out there, man, do it, date with a purpose. And I don't even like to say date. My thing is, man, be intentional, befriend the people first. Like that whole, date them all, sis. Man, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that at all, man. All that date them all crap. Nah, be intentional. Like really find the person, or as men, because we're supposed to find, right? So
Mm,
when you find that woman and you know without a shadow of a doubt that that's her, befriend her. Don't lead into it with lust, thinking of the marriage bed. You know what I'm saying? When you meet the woman, like really get to know her, man. You will find out somebody's gonna be cool to the mug, bro.
yep. That is so
Like be cool and like when you laughing with them, y'all can actually just talk, man. I got like, and people who need help, man. I got like 300 some questions that you can ask a woman. I got 300 plus questions that you can ask when I got it broken down from friendship to courtship to marriage and just so on. Even affirmations you can get to your lady. Boy, I got them all written down.
Wow.
I spent this whole time from January to July just working on stuff, just, huh. And that became a thing to where it's like next time I go into it, it's like I really got an arsenal where I can like really peel back some layers and get to know this woman. Like
Mm,
I want to know everything. I want to know what scares you.
mm.
I wanna know, what doubts you've struggled with. I wanna know your insecurities. Like, I wanna know, okay, how was your childhood? What made you happy?
Yep. That is so
What you're reading right now? You know what I'm saying? What's your relationship like with your parents? Hey, what's your relationships like with your aunts and uncles, if you have any?
man.
What's your relationship like with your cousins? How are you on family? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanna know.
Yeah.
I wanna know. And so these are things that's I think the best way to do it, you know what I'm saying? And just really stepping in with purpose. And then also just be upfront about your values and your vision. Be upfront. It's really not that hard.
Yeah.
Tell her you struggle with us. Be honest about it. It's okay. You may find a woman that may be able to help you by her boundaries.
Cool.
But some dudes run away from that.
Cool.
They'll run away from that and be like, man, she tough, man. She'll be tough on the crack. But guess what? Sometimes you may find a woman that got them boundaries like that, man, and they stand on it, that she can actually show you something.
Mm,
So I mean, instead of looking at things like a negative, man, find the beauty in it, man. I found beauty in this woman's boundaries, bro. I don't be wanting to sound like I'm patronizing her sometimes, but I be wanting to way to go. Do not let Yeah, I love that.
yeah,
I love that.
that is lovely, man, and I like that because that transparency, man. Because sometimes, when you give a little, they give a little, and that person that's supposed to be for you, what I'm saying, I believe that it just creates great dialogue, great conversation. And it's just because some people, and I just talked about this in the last episode, some people can't handle that part of you. And sometimes, it's easy to give it away so soon. Everybody can't handle that. And so, like you say, if you're talking to somebody, it's great to get to know someone, but that wisdom and discernment is so important, man. Cause I met my wife on Instagram. And
Mhm.
we married 6 months dating long distance. But it's still, even to this day, I'm still getting to know her as a person because we're just always evolving, always changing. So when you say talk about those questions, I'm constantly asking questions because who she was 3 months ago, she not even that same person. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
Mhm.
the continuation of getting to know someone because we're always it's a good place to be in when you know that y'all can have those conversations. Because I sucked in that in my last marriage. I struggled. I didn't know where my ex-wife was. Mentally, I didn't know where she was.
You just triggered something to me, boy. I knew I struggled. I just told somebody, man, I struggle with handsome handouts. I'm just now I never knew how to court. Everything came easy for me. You
Mhm,
feel me? And so I had to learn that. I never had to really ask a woman her interest. They just came. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm actually being intentional of learning a woman inside and out. You know what I'm saying? Head to toe, top to bottom. I want to know everything. You know,
mhm.
and that's been a new space for me in uncharted territory, and I'm actually having fun doing it because it's like, "You alright." You know what I'm saying? And to your point, man, you and your wife been married for some time, man. That's that whole, when we talk about becoming, that's a process. You know what I'm saying? He said you're gonna become one flesh. You know what I'm saying? And so when Adam said that, it's like that's a whole process. People think like just because you got married, all of a sudden you just one. No, you're gonna move as one. You gotta operate, but you gotta become one flesh, right?
Mhm.
That's a process. Becoming is a process, and we have to trust the process, enjoy the process, embrace the process,
Yes.
and go from there.
Amen.
Go from there.
For sure. Well, one of our people on Instagram was a Michaela. She wanted to know what was your name. So it's Sammie Rogers. So Sammy, are you on TikTok?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok. Everything is pretty much the same. Everything is Sammie Rogers Jr.
Okay. Sammie Rogers,
across
Michaela.
every day.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's gonna be a guest on the show as well. I did doing a series, Life After Divorce, military edition.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about that. So yeah, shout out to her. So when why is authenticity so important in dating?
Foundation of trust. It's the foundation of trust. I mean, without authenticity, I mean, can you really say that you trust somebody? You know, if you don't even really know who they really are, you know what I mean?
Because Sammy, not to interrupt you, but real quick, so one reason why I say this is because I know it sounds like a simple question, is because
Yeah.
unfortunately so many people struggle with that.
They do. And I can admit, you know what I'm saying, with myself. I mean, first of all, authenticity attracts the right person because when you are your real self, you know what I'm saying? Now that ensures that you attract somebody who actually loves you for you. Again, we build our personas, right? Because we
Mhm,
go through this world. And again, this is what we talk about. Now let's go back to the beginning, right? In the beginning, we talked about a man getting all his ducks in a row. So you're the six-figure earner. You this, you got the house, you have the car, you doing all these things, you checking all these boxes, but that has nothing to do with your character and who you are. You get what I'm saying? So now you are being liked for what you can provide tangibly, and all of your intangibles are being overlooked. So now when you get with this woman, you realize she don't even really value me. She don't really like me because she don't even know you.
mhm, mhm,
Who are you?
mhm, mhm.
Bro, my name is Samuel Lee Rogers Jr., bro, and I like ice cream with sprinkles on it, dog. And I stopped eating my ice cream with sprinkles on it because I heard somebody say that was, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Man, boy, when I got on my divorce, man, the first thing I did, I went into I went to Cold Stone, man. I got me some ice cream. I put some sprinkles on it. Brought me back to my childhood, man. I'm like, you know what? Man, forget that, dog. Man, I like anime. I'm not about to sit here and act like I'm, man, what?
Yeah.
No, man, I went to go see the Demon Slayer movie by myself with a smile on my face, and I enjoyed it. I had the time of my life that day, and I ate Chipotle, you know? And so this is what I mean when we talk about being authentic. I've always just naturally just been a goofy dude. But because I played football, I came off as serious and this and man, I like to laugh, bruh. I love to laugh. I laugh at everything. But what do you laugh? I laugh at everything.
Yeah.
Man, what else? I can be serious. I can turn it on and be serious as man, what? But I love to laugh, man. I love going to comedy shows, man. I'm in the comedy club, bro. I can't wait to go to a comedy show. Feel That's just me. That's my favorite pastime. I love comedy shows, man. And so these are things that, when people see me, they like, yo, this dude he really chill. You know what I'm saying? I thought this dude, he walked down the street, yo, he got this little serious face, but I really love to smile.
Yeah.
I love to laugh. I love joking around. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just, but that's me. And when I got back to who I am, things became a whole lot better.
Mm,
And not only that, man, why authenticity is important, man, it glorifies God. Like when we understand that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, right?
yeah.
And we embrace our true authentic self, that is an act of worship. because you are accepting and embracing who God made, and you're living it authentically, and you're not trying to cover it up with the ways and the patterns of this world. I just
That's
that's an act of worship to me. And then again, and the last thing, man, it leads to real relationships. Again, like I said, man, when you're authentic, you get to take that, that deep path and it's lasting, and you create a meaningful connection because now that person knows you. And not only not and then when you're authentic and that person really knows you, guess what they can do? They can protect you. They can cover you.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now if somebody tries to come against that, they be like, man, I know my baby.
Mhm.
And they can stand 10 toes on that because they know you. It ain't no secret, ain't no surprise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They got your back 100% because they know the whole truth. It's just like a defense attorney. Your defense attorney, when you no matter what crime you did, you better tell your defense attorney everything you did.
Yep.
And guess what they gonna do? They gonna go in that courtroom, they gonna stand 10 toes. Especially you got a good one. They stand at 10 toes. No matter you guilty as all outdoor. But they guess what? They stepping in. But that's what your person go do. That's how they go cover you when you authentic. They can cover that. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I know you did it, baby.
Yeah.
I'm not about to say that out there in the world. But when we here, we in our bedroom, or we at the kitchen table, we go talk about it
Okay.
respectfully. You know what I'm saying? And then we go, I'm gonna edify you, and we can go from there, and we can build from there. But out there, no, bro, I'm swinging on somebody about you. You
Yeah.
feel me? Like that's just what it is. Like, hey, it's me and you, flat out. And so I believe that that's why authenticity is so important, man. Because one, it provides real protection and covering, security, and again, like I said, man, that is an act of worship, to God, to me. Like when you really embrace who you are, because again, your essence is in His presence. So if you are operating in your essence, you are operating in His presence, and that
Mhm.
glorifies God.
Yeah, because I think one of the biggest issues with marriage is we don't accept that person for who they are. Just because they might have some different quirks or their flaws might be different. It's like when you can accept that person and be okay with that, like that's who they are. I think that could be a beautiful thing to accept someone for who they are. Because a lot of times,
Mhm.
we cool at first when we start out, but again, that comes back to having that facade. Because if you were who you were in the infancy stages, I wouldn't have to find out who you were, a year later.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
And that be a lot of problems, man. People come in again. You meet the representatives,
saying? Yeah.
that are their authentic selves, and that be the trouble. But the thing is, when you really meet somebody and you really love their authentic self, that mean that you like if you meet that person and they're authentic and you genuinely love that person, and no matter what, they can stay the exact same. They can never change.
Mhm.
Oh, I love them. I've only encountered one woman in my life like that. There's one. She knows who she is, and if she ever see this episode, she already know what time it is.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Well, I'd want to switch gears just a little bit because we're a little bit past the half hour mark. So
Uh,
I want to have Sammy Uncut, right? It's gonna be Sammy Uncut. These are questions, random questions. But before we do, I want to say what's up to our sponsor at Love Fearlessly. This is a 30 card intimacy deck that my wife and I created. You can find at scarytoremarry.com. 30 cards. So if you're dating, if you're married, because I know people say that I'm married, yeah, but you'll be surprised what you might find out about your spouse if you took the time to ask the right question. So this is for all stages of relationships. So Sammy, I want to pull out a card. I want to ask you one of the questions
okay.
from the deck. One of the questions is how did you manage hurt and disappointment growing up?
Shut down. I actually wrote about this in my book, man, when I was 8, and I tell the story, man. Me and my dad, we're very close, so this ain't no me,
Hmm.
uh, you know, shooting on my dad right now. But
Sure.
when I was 8, I had called my dad and I asked him for something for my birthday, and his response was, "I shouldn't have to buy anything because I pay child support." Now, mind you, my dad was in the NFL, and so that it did something. It triggered something in me that day. And I just remember hanging up the phone. And he kept calling back, and I kept hanging up. He kept calling back, I kept hanging up. And then he had my grandmother call me, rest her soul. She called me and she said, "Hey, dude, answer the phone for your dad." I said, "No." But what that did for me is it created this wall. And I felt like I had to just hide behind this wall from now on. And what I ended up doing was instead of me, anytime I wanted something from somebody, anytime I needed help with something, anytime I was struggling with something, I wouldn't ask for help. So I then it created this rejection. It created this, I just felt like I gotta do for myself, and I didn't know how to process that at 8 years old, and no 8-year-old should have to process that, right?
Right.
And so for me, my natural reaction was shut down and shut out and isolate myself, and that is when my whole persona of a hermit came to life,
Mhm.
to where I then began isolating myself, and I'm in 36, about 33, I really started coming out of my shell a little bit more,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah. For sure.
isolation.
Yeah. No, I've been there myself. I mean, always having to put up that I mean that me, I had that pride and ego, because I always felt like I had to get it myself. I always had to
Mhm.
for myself kind of thing. So no, totally get it, man. Thanks for sharing. So I want to ask you some of these random bonus questions before we end the show. Number one, what's the biggest mistake you see men make when it comes to dating?
Not doing their due diligence and pouring out their resources or leading with their
Yeah.
resources. I think that is like one of the biggest mistakes, man. I've done it. Like I said, man, I'm always gonna go back to myself
Yeah.
because anything that I see men do, I've 9 times out of 10 done it. And I definitely was someone who, and it ain't even like it's intentional for me sometimes. It's just that I had money. At one point, like a nice amount of money, and I let it be known. Like I drove a Range Rover, I had Mercedes. I've done this, so it's like for me, it was because they seen this. I want to take a chick out to a nice restaurant on the first date. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? And I'm dating too soon before I even know this woman, and I want to spend my resources on her. You feel me? And so I think we as men, we jump too fast to the dating before we even get to befriend a woman. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a huge mistake, man. That was one that I'm just now learning, man. 36. So there's that.
Hey, it's all good, man. Hey, better late than never. Believe me, we're always learning something. That's real
Man,
talk. Real talk. Fill in a blank. My last relationship taught me.
my last relationship taught me capacity.
Mm.
Having the capacity to love, to really to sacrifice and understanding what that really looks like, and understanding her capacity. And um being with her, she was adamant about having community, having community, having community. Because sometimes, because when me, how I operate and how I love, when I'm with someone, I want to give them all of me. You know what I'm saying? I want to dump everything, my traumas, my all of it.
Yeah.
I give you all of this.
Right?
You say you want me, I'm gonna give you all of me. But sometimes, man, you have to understand individuals' capacity. And she was a woman who we both were coming out of marriages, so we both really didn't even have a real time and window to really heal. We were mainly surviving, and so we once we got into the relationship, all the things that we struggle with, of course, starts to come out. The mirror effect, right? We start to really see ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and seeing her operate in a certain way, and she carries so much, man. This beautiful woman, bro, she just carries so much. And I didn't understand her capacity because my attitude was, if I'm doing this, you should be doing this, and we're doing this together in this thing or whatever. But sometimes, man, in your relationship, bro, you may be the one that can carry more than the other person. You may be able to operate more than this person, and you have to give them that grace and that mercy and be able to accept their capacity. You feel me?
Yep.
And know your own capacity. Don't push yourself beyond your limits and, you know what I'm saying, and try to hold stuff in for too long because then all of a sudden that starts to spill over. And next thing you know, resentment starts to come in and, bitterness starts to come in and these things start to happen. And so that's just one of the biggest things I learned, man. My last relationship taught me capacity.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I was listening to it was Brene Brown or something. I was listening to her one day and she was talking about how sometimes when she come home, she tells her husband, I only have 30% today. So I only have 30%. So I need you to take this 70. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real up front. It's a heck of a day. And so I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. It's kind of like seeing your phone battery, right? You're like, oh, I need to recharge. Thought that was cool to,
Nah, that's real good.
yeah, let them know where you are. From seeing your parents' relationship, what did it teach you about relationships?
Yeah. So now I wrote my book, man. My mom and my dad was 17 and 18 when they conceived. You feel me? They were 18 and 19 when I was born. I was in my mama's belly when she was walking across the graduation stage in high school. So I didn't grow up two-parent household.
Got
And so for me, I grew up loving women according or wanting to be with women according to what I felt like my mom deserved. And so I was like trying to just love and overshower and overcompensate because I'm like, my mom deserves this. And it was like I was loving from again is this place that wasn't again, probably some will say that's good intentions, you know what I'm saying? I saw what this woman wasn't receiving and I wanted to give that. You feel me?
Mhm.
But it wasn't rooted in the right place. You get what I'm saying? And so for me, it's like it taught me the wrong things. I'll say that. And I had to unlearn and relearn to where now both my parents will tell you, man, I inspire them in relationships. Like I coach my parents now. And
That
so like my dad, he'd tell you, man, I learned how to be faithful from you. Even though I've messed up before,
Yeah.
I'm saying? My last marriage, yes, infidelity.
Mhm.
My dad was like, over the years, like how I always was, I always be like all in, all in, all in with this woman. And even in the dating phase, like once I make up my mind with you, everybody else gone.
Yeah.
Now it's me and you. Even if we just talking, like I drop everything. But I also, the things that I was learning is like happiness is fleeting
Mm.
and not to hinge my relationship on happiness. So I can watch my mama be unhappy and she'll be ready to pack up and move, on do her own thing. Or I watch my dad, he's saying, he's unhappy and he'll, do what he do. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to learn like, happiness is fleeting and marriage isn't about happiness at all, bro.
Man, listen. Man.
At all. Like your happiness better come from within. You know what I'm saying? And you share that. You feel me? But if you
Yes.
sitting there relying on someone to be a source of happiness when they are just a creature of God and not the creator of it, bro, you setting yourself up for failure.
Man, listen.
So, I mean, there's a lot that I can say that I've learned, and then there was a lot that I had to unlearn.
Yeah.
The one thing that I definitely did learn is how loving my mom was. You know what I'm saying? Like she's very loving. She'll do anything for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My dad, he wasn't the traditional man. My dad, this man was in the NFL, but yet this man he would do laundry.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? He would clean up.
Yeah.
He, you know what I'm saying? He cooked breakfast. You feel me? Like he wasn't "Oh, I pay all the bills and I make all the money.
Yeah.
You be my servant." Like, no, my dad actually did stuff. Like he'll fix some stuff. He took us paintballing. We'd go-kart racing. We'd go to batting cages. My dad was at every game. Like my dad started coaching high school football because I moved with him. You know what I'm saying? So when I moved with him, I started playing football out there in California my junior year. My dad started coaching. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to be there and hands on and coach his boys. So it's like, so yes, I learned those negative things,
Yeah.
right? That I have to unlearn and relearn. But the positive things that I learned outweigh those by a landslide.
Mhm.
Like that's why now, man, I have no problem with doing laundry, bro. I watch my daddy do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like my daddy did laundry. Like this is a 6'4", 200+ pound man who was a linebacker in the NFL, and I'm watching this man fold drawers, bro. Like that did something to me, like watching that. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching this man, he's married. This man's doing the laundry. Like, man, what?
Yeah.
This man out there, he's sweeping the kitchen. He washing dishes. What? Like that meant that did something to me. And so that put in me like, oh, I'm definitely taking that from my daddy for sure. You know what I'm saying? I watch my mom, man, my mom, she'll rub your feet. You know what I'm saying? She out there massaging knees. Like you see women sitting there talking about, man, I wanna, what, man? Woman can't rub my feet, boy. We can't even talk. But, and I don't even like my feet being touched, but it's just the fact, like, if you don't even wanna be willing to do it, like,
Yeah.
at least, pay for me to go get a pedicure then, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Show me yeah, about my feet, you feel me? 'Cause I'm out here, I'm in the run club and stuff, man, my feet be hurt.
Yeah, that's funny, man. No, for sure. Love it. Love it. So, who makes a better spouse? Someone never married or someone divorced?
Say that again?
Who makes a better spouse? Someone never married or someone divorced?
Or someone never married or someone that's divorced.
Yeah. There's no wrong answer.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a toss up, man. You could have someone is the person that's never married, I mean, have they gone through who are they surrounded by? Who's their, mentors? Who, what type of upbringing do they have? You know what I'm saying? Where are they coming from with this? Are they looking to marry because they actually believe in covenant? Or are they just looking for an escape? You
Mm,
know?
that's real.
Whereas the divorced person, did they learn from their mistakes? Did they actually, you know what I'm saying? Have they taken the time out to deal with themselves and heal from that because divorce is traumatic.
It
You
is.
know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, I could be biased in this one because as I'm a divorced individual. So I'm going to say, I'm going to speak for myself in this situation. I believe that as a man who's learned his lessons and has gone through that fire and has, healed and developed and actually developed the characteristics to, go to that next level. I'm going to say that I am an amazing mate. I'm accountable, loyal.
Yeah.
We fall down, but we get up,
Amen.
you know. But no, someone who actually like I just think that an individual who actually learns from their mistakes and actually learns and develops period in life, I think that they make a good spouse.
Mm.
Whether you're divorced or never married, if you're rooted in God, you'll make a great spouse.
Yeah, for sure.
Period.
For sure. Last question. Is it easier to love yourself or someone else?
Ooh, boy, you take me back to one of my issues that I had to overcome. Oh my God. It was crazy, but a therapist told me, like, that's a possibility, right? I can give people the love that I could never give myself.
Mm.
And it's crazy because I didn't expect anything in return from it.
Yeah.
But what he was telling me was, he said, the problem with that is that you spend so much time pouring over here, and then you start just doing this while you're pouring over here. Eventually, you're going to hit a place and it's going to be unpleasant. The thing is, he wasn't lying because that's what happened to me in my previous marriage. I mean, the woman said, and I quote, man, she told me straight up, well, she said, you messed up by giving me everything I asked for.
Mm.
I thought that's what women want. Boy, that threw me through. That threw me through a loop, boy. But I mean, we can laugh about it now,
Oh, yeah.
but it's
For sure
like
at the
these
time.
are the things that, like, yeah. So it's like when people, but it's crazy. But I found it a lot easier because I'm a selfless individual, and so it's a lot easier for me to like pour into people, love on people, encourage people, motivate people. But sometimes I find it hard for me to even do that for myself. Like I can be in the middle of a shitstorm.
Mm.
You feel me? But I will find it if somebody called me and they're going through something,
Mm.
man, I could throw everything to the side about what I'm going through, man. And I could talk, man. Me and my close boy, man. I call him Bama. His name is Tim, man. I ain't gonna tell the full story, but when he called me and he was going through it, I'm going through it. But he called me because he's going through it. So I'm pouring into him, man. We both crying on the phone, bro. But it's like I set all my stuff aside. Like I'm not important right now. He is. And so yeah, I find it easier for me personally,
Mhm.
it was always been a whole lot easier for me to pour into people, love on people than it was for me to love myself, man. I just told myself at 33 years old that I love myself for the first time since I was 12 years old.
Mm. Wow.
Looked in the mirror and I finally told myself I love myself. And I struggled even looking in the mirror sometimes, man. But I looked in the mirror and I said, I love you.
Mm.
And I just broke down crying. And that's when the healing really started like kicked
Yeah.
into gear. Because I finally was able to break through and tell myself that. And it showed because what ended up happening was I lost weight. So I was 295 pounds. Now I'm down to 217.
Oh, wow.
And so, and mind you, I play wide receiver. For me to be that big, you know what I'm saying, it was painful and I didn't want to look at myself in the mirror. And so when I finally told myself that I love you, it started to show because I became more disciplined and mindful of how I treat myself,
Yes.
and so there's that.
Wow. Man, Sammie, this has been a phenomenal episode, man. Thanks again. Feel free to always come back, man. This has been great. Thanks again for taking some time to be a guest. Let everyone know how they can get in touch with you, the book, all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. Like I said, on all of my social medias, you can find me at Sammie Rogers Jr. Like I mainly operate on Threads. That's my favorite go-to. So if you wanna check me out on Threads, that's where I'm at right now. Threads is where it's at for me.
Yeah.
I am starting a YouTube channel. My website is under construction right now, sammierogers.com. And I have my book. You can find it on Amazon. It's called Growing in Sevens. It's literally me just breaking down my life in a 7-year increment. So from birth to 7 years old, from 8 to 14, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I literally just broke down my life in 7-year windows. I mean, it comes with lessons and things that I've learned in those 7 years. I mean, it's really just my testimony. Like I poured my heart out into that.
Oh,
And then I also have another book on there called the 3-Day Mental Rewire. It's a workbook that helps people, take the time out in 3 days. Like, you can fast in it if you want to, but it's just like just really just helping you just rewire yourself according to scripture in a way that Christ would do. So yeah,
yeah, man. Thanks again. Well, Brave Hearts community, you heard it here. Go connect with Sammie. I'm on Threads as well. That's how we connected. So follow him on Threads. Go grab the book. Show him some love. I'll have all that linked in the description as well. Sammie, all that stuff will be,
So,
linked up in the bottom. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Share this with a friend you never know who need content like this. You never know. And I always say, put it in your group chat because it's like 3 of y'all, 4 of y'all. Put it in the group chat. Watch the video and then come back and talk about it in the group chat. um, but yeah, check out this episode. And if you are listening to this via podcast, if you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, leave a rating and review. Would love to hear your feedback. This is Sean Heineman with my special guest, Sammie Rogers.
I appreciate you having me, man, for real, man. It's been an honor.
Yeah, man, for sure. All right, people, take care.